A very warm good morning to one and all. Myself, Dr. Jinda Thomas, Assistant Professor at the Department of Chemistry, Berzelius College, Kottayam. Today, I am here with you to introduce some topics from solid state chemistry. In this lecture, we will discuss in detail about Burger's circuit and Burger's vector. Before beginning the session, let me give you a brief note about H dislocations. As you all know, H dislocations arise when there is a slight mismatch in the orientation of adjacent parts of the crystal, resulting in the introduction of extra rows of atoms or extra half planes of atoms. The newly introduced rows of atoms in the extra half plane has one less atom coordinating to it than it is required by the perfect crystal structure. This is the actual factor that leads to the occurrence of Burger's vector. Kindly watch my previous lectures on solid state chemistry to know more about H dislocations. Now let us see what is a Burger circuit and what is a Burger's vector. Burger circuit is a closed loop surrounding the dislocation line that can be used to describe the extent of dislocation within that crystal. That is, dislocations can be marked by drawing a closed loop around the dislocation line, and this loop is called Burger circuit. Let us have a detailed look. Check this figure given below. The figure on the left hand side corresponds to a perfect crystal packing. As you can see here, all these atoms are positioned on perfect lattice point and we have a perfect crystal packing. Whereas the figure on the right hand side is that of a crystal containing an H dislocation. Look at this portion. We can see the presence of an extra half plane of atoms related to an H dislocation. Now let us follow this closed loop that is drawn through few atoms in the case of this perfect crystal packing and also in the case of this crystal system containing an H dislocation. Let us start drawing the loop from the point P, and we are planning to complete the draw by going 6 steps up, 5 steps to the right, then 6 steps downwards and again 5 steps to the left. So now let's start drawing the loop from the point P. For that we are going up by 6 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, half here, half here. So we are going up by 6 lattice positions or here atom positions we have reached here. Now let us go to right by 5 atom positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, half and half. So 5 lattice positions and we have reached this corner. Now let us go down again by 6 lattice positions or 6 atom positions. So we have reached this corner. Now to complete this loop, we have to go 5 steps back to left. Let us see. 1, 2, 3, 4, half and half from here. So when we move 5 steps back, we reach the same point P from where we started our journey. So this is the case of a perfectly crystalline material. So we can say in the case of a perfect crystal, this loop drawn can be said to be complete. That is, by moving or covering same number of atoms in all directions throughout the loop, we could complete or close the loop. Now let us see what would happen if we do the same procedure with a crystal having an H dislocation. For that we are considering the picture on the right hand side. There we can clearly see the occurrence of an H dislocation. This plane containing 5 atoms has been introduced as a new half plane. This 5th atom here is the point through which the dislocation line passes perpendicular to the screen. That is, the area where the effect of H dislocation is maximum. So this point marks the end of this H dislocation and this is the area where the H dislocation is maximum and the dislocation line would pass through this point. And we have to be careful while drawing the Burger circuit in the case of a defective crystal. We should make this loop surrounding this point through which the H dislocation line or the dislocation line passes. Okay, now let us draw the loop or circuit starting from the point P. We are going to repeat the same procedure as we did in the case of this perfect crystalline packing. So here we are starting from the point P, and as we did before, we have to go up by 6 lattice positions. We are here. Now we have to go to the right by 5 lattice positions. We reached here. Now going down by 6 atom positions. And now in order to complete the loop, we are supposed to move left by 5 atom positions, because here we moved to the right by 5 atom positions. Now let's have a closer look to see what happens here. In order to complete the loop, we are supposed to go to the left by 5 atom positions. And let us try moving left by 5 atom positions. So 1, 2, 3, half here, 4. And if we move 5 steps to the left, we are reaching the point Q instead of the starting point P. So when we made only 4 steps, we could reach the starting point P. And if we try to complete the 5th step, we would reach the point Q. So is this loop the same as the other one we had drawn with a perfect crystal? No. Here in the case of this imperfect crystal, the loop is incomplete. Or we can say, for an edge dislocation, the Burger circuit is not complete. Now look at this space QP, that is represented by the symbol B, vector B. That is, this quantity, this space has both, or this quantity B has both direction and magnitude. So this is a vector quantity. This displacement B, vector B, is called the Burger's vector. Therefore, we can conclude that for an edge dislocation or a crystal system containing an edge dislocation, the Burger circuit is not complete, and the amount by which the Burger circuit fails to close up on itself is called as the Burger's vector. In the case of a crystal system containing an edge dislocation, the Burger circuit is not complete, and the amount by which the Burger circuit fails to close up on itself is called as the Burger's vector. That is, the magnitude and direction of the displacement vector B is defined as the Burger's vector here. Once again, let me repeat what is the Burger's vector. So, in this figure on the left hand side, starting from the point P, we go up by 6 steps, then move towards right by 5 steps, move down by 6 steps, and finally move towards left by 5 steps to reach the starting point P. Now the Burger circuit gets closed here in the case of this perfect crystal packing. That is, the starting point and ending point are the same. When the same operation is performed on the defective crystal, that is here the figure on the right hand side, we end up at the point Q instead of the starting point P, and hence it is not a closed circuit. So we have to move an extra step to return to the point P. From Q, we have to come back an extra step to complete the Burger's circuit. So the magnitude and direction of this extra step defines the Burger's vector. So this space, the magnitude and direction of this extra step indicates the Burger's vector. It is generally represented by the small letter B, where the vector quantity B is called as the Burger's vector. Now let us see some more details about Burger's vector. As you see here in this picture, the red line, this red line indicates the dislocation line that marks the area of maximum dislocation or the edge of dislocation. The green line, this green line which is perpendicular to the dislocation line, is called the Burger's vector. That is, in the case of an edge dislocation, the Burger's vector is perpendicular to the dislocation line. I specify that in the case of an edge dislocation, the Burger's vector is perpendicular to the dislocation line, and the situation can be different in the case of other type of dislocations, like for example like screw dislocation. Now, in order to have a clearer understanding, let us illustrate Burger's vector with some more examples. So, let us consider this case. First of all, let us start drawing the Burger's circuit in the case of this perfect crystalline packing. Again, we are starting here from the starting point. We are moving to the right by 4 atom positions, we can say. Then going down by 5 atom positions. Then again to the left by 4 atom positions. And we have to complete the loop by passing 5 atom positions to the top. So we have reached the starting point in the case of this perfect crystalline packing by following the same number of atom positions. We could complete the circuit. However, in the case of this crystalline packing containing this edge dislocation, let us see whether we can complete the Burger's circuit or not. Again, we are starting from this point. The starting point is this one, and we are going to the right by 4 atom positions, then downwards by 5 atom positions, to the left again by 4 atom positions, and we are moving to the top again by 5 atom positions. And look, we are here. We haven't reached the starting point. This gap between the starting and ending point can be filled by the Burger's vector. That is, the Burger's vector connects the failure between the start and end positions as a result of the introduction of the extra half plane of atoms. That is, the shortest distance associated with a closure failure in a crystal with edge dislocation is called as the Burger's vector. That is, Burger's vector occurs due to the presence of this extra half plane of atoms or due to the presence of an edge dislocation. Then the Burger's circuit fails to close down, and this gap between the start and end points is known as the Burger's vector. Now have a look at this picture, which gives a three-dimensional view of the crystal packing. Let us start from the point, say S. Let us make the loop in the clockwise direction. For that, first of all, let us move 2 steps to the left, then 4 steps to the top, 4 steps to the right, again 4 steps down. So we are at this point. Now let us observe. So in order to complete the loop, we are supposed to make 4 steps in total to the left. So we have already made 2 steps, 1, 2, and we are making again 1 and 2 steps. So in total we have made 4 steps. And look where we are. We are at this point, the finishing point F, and we haven't reached the starting point. We haven't reached the point S from where we started our journey. So here we can see the Burger's loop fails to close down. This displacement can be represented by the Burger's vector. The arrow mark, this displacement indicated in red line, can be represented by the Burger's vector. So we can say the Burger's vector associated with a dislocation is the measure of the lattice distortion caused by the presence of the line defect. What is it? The Burger's vector associated with a dislocation is the measure of the lattice distortion caused by the presence of the line defect, in this particular case due to the occurrence of the edge dislocation. Now let us see how can we measure the Burger's vector. The Burger's vector associated with a dislocation is a measure of the lattice distortion caused by the presence of the line defect. We just said it now. The diagram here shows the convention for measuring the Burger's vector. First of all, a circuit is made around a dislocation line. Here this is the point through which the dislocation line would pass. So a Burger circuit is made around a dislocation line in a clockwise direction, with each step of the circuit connecting lattice sides that are fully coordinated. Then This circuit is transferred to a perfect lattice of the same type. Because of the absence of a dislocation within this circuit, it fails to close on itself. And the vector linking the end of the circuit to the starting point is the Burgers vector. So what we are doing here, initially we draw the Burgers circuit in the case of a defective crystal that contains an edge dislocation, and we are drawing the loop surrounding the area through which the dislocation line passes. Then we transfer the same loop Burgers circuit into a perfect crystalline system, and here, as you can see, here there is an extra half plane, so this part is more wide. But in this perfect crystalline packing, we lack the occurrence of the extra half plane. Because of that, this Burgers circuit fails to close down. Okay, so the starting point and ending point are not the same. And the vector linking the end of the circuit, this part, to the starting point is the Burgers vector represented by vector B, and this space QM corresponds to Burgers vector in this case. The Burgers vector defined in this way is a unit vector of the lattice if the dislocation is a unit dislocation. If the dislocation is a unit dislocation, the Burgers vector would correspond to a unit dislocation or unit vector quantity. And a shorter stable translation vector of the lattice if the dislocation is a partial dislocation. If it was a partial dislocation, say this extra half plane was here in the middle of this unit cell distance, the Burgers vector obtained would also be shorter. So today we discussed about Burgers circuit, what is the Burgers vector, and we illustrated the concept of Burgers vector with different examples, different situations. I hope you got a clear picture about it, and now we have also discussed the convention for calculating or finding out the Burgers vector. This was all about the topic Burgers vector. Thank you.